Deputy in Lagos Assembly. Chief of Air Staff orders investigation into report of civilian bombings by Nigerian Air Force airstrike in Katsina. Osun National Assembly caucus urges President Tinubu to direct NSA, IGP to re-establish order amid political tensions. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. Security personnel from the Department of State Security DSS and the Nigeria Police forcefully entered the Lagos State House of Assembly in the early hours of today, effectively sealing the offices of Speaker Mojisola Meranda, her deputy, and the clerk of the Assembly. Now, it was revealed that by 10 a.m., armed guards had established control over the premises located in Alausa, Ikeja, conducting thorough checks on all individuals passing by. The Speaker, last part Mojisola Meranda, arrived with her convoy at approximately 11:15 a.m. It is important to know that the former Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, who is currently facing legal challenges, has initiated a lawsuit against the state lawmakers contesting his removal from the position. Reports also indicate that Obasa had submitted a motion to the Ikeja Division of the State High Court, where he is also requesting an expedited hearing for his case. Obasa was removed from his position in absentia by 32 of the 40 members of the State Assembly on January 13, 2025, while he was in the United States. The situation has sparked significant controversy, with members of the Governance Advisory Council, the leading political decision-making body within the All Progressives Congress in Lagos, expressing divided opinions regarding Obasa's ousting. Let's quickly take a listen today while the DSS came to seal the office premises and how some of the members at the Lagos State National Assembly were actually pushing them back. Somebody was seen shouting, "Go on live" via social media. Let's quickly take a listen to that brief chaos today. It was quite unfortunate that they could not call any security personnel, but rather calling the profile of a particular social media handle during this chaos today. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services has clarified its involvement in the security takeover of the Lagos State House of Assembly, stating that its presence was requested by the Assembly itself. In a statement today, the DSS explained that it acted on a letter from the Assembly dated February 14, 2025, which sought additional security security due to potential threat. The letter, signed by acting clerk Mr. A.T.B. Otten, cited credible intelligence suggesting plans to forcefully reinstate the impeached speaker on February 18, 2025. It also stated that the impeached speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly plans to resume office on the 18th of February, which poses a potential security threat to the Assembly and its members. In light of the situation, we kindly request that you take necessary measures to fortify the security of the Assembly premises with effect from Sunday, 16th February 2025 by increasing the presence of your men and observing strict access control within and outside the Assembly premises till further notice. The DSS noted that its deployment was to ensure order and protect Assembly members, emphasizing that its actions were based on the lawmakers' request and not driven by external influence. This development follows days of tension at the Assembly where legislative workers clashed with security personnel amid the ongoing leadership tussle between Speaker Mojisola Meranda and impeached Speaker Mudashiru Obasa. The DSS reiterated its commitment to upholding security and order without bias. Now, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has ordered an investigation into reports that civilians were killed in a recent airstrike carried out by the air component of Operation Fasten Yama at Yauni Hill, Zaka Ward of Savannah Local Government Area, Katsina State. According to a statement today by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa, Abubakar described the reports of civilian casualties during the airstrike as deeply troubling. You'll recall earlier that there were reports that 6 civilians were said to have lost their lives during the military airstrike that hit Yauni community, Zaka Ward of Savannah Local Government Area of Katsina State. The Nigerian Air Force reaction, while ordering an investigation into the matter, explained that the airstrike was launched in response to intelligence indicating a terrorist attack on a police mobile force location in the community where bandits had already killed 2 of the personnel and 4 vigilantes. The now spokesperson confirmed the killing of several terrorists, not bandits this time around, during the counter-operation. Akimboyewa said the claims of civilian casualties would be investigated and verified, while emphasizing the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force to professionalism and rules of engagement. As a professional force dedicated to the protection of Nigeria and its people, the Nigerian Air Force operates under strict rules of engagement and adheres to internationally accepted standards in all its operations. End quote. Now, in a very recent development whereby in Osun State, the sacked chairman of Irewole local government, Osun State, Remi Abbas, has been shot dead by unknown gunmen at the local government secretariat in Ikire. Eyewitnesses said the attacker stormed the secretariat in broad daylight on Monday, firing multiple gunshots. It was sudden, chaotic. People ran for safety. The Osun State Police Command confirmed the incident and stated that investigations had begun. Abbas was among the local government chairmen elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, sacked by the Federal High Court sitting in Oshogbo in November 2022. Meanwhile, 2 persons have also been confirmed dead in Borikwe local government area of the state over the fracas that erupted when some hoodlums allegedly working for the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress attempted to take over the council. The victims whose names were given as Ege and Igara, according to eyewitnesses, were shot dead by hoodlums. It was gathered that Ege, who decamped from the APC to the PDP recently, was the only son of his parents, with his father also said to be a member of the People's Democratic Party. One other person whose name was given as Yinka, a photographer, was also shot and is currently in critical condition at an undisclosed hospital, reliably gathered. The situation, however, has caused panic in the area as residents scamper for safety. Meanwhile, the Osun State Caucus in the National Assembly has called on President Bola Tinubu to instruct the National Security Advisor and the Inspector General of Police to urgently restore peace in the state, warning against escalating political unrest. Speaking on behalf of the caucus, the leader of the Osun Caucus in the House of Representatives, Bamidele Salam, emphasized the need for immediate intervention to prevent political thugs from disrupting the relative peace in Osun State. He urged the president to caution the All Progressives Congress leadership in the state retaliate against any attempts to forcefully seize control of local government councils. Salam actually explained that the APC has been misinterpreting the recent Court of Appeal ruling regarding the removal of elected local government chairmen. The lawmaker clarified that while the appellate court nullified the lower court's judgment in a case involving the PDP, it also dismissed a similar case filed by the APC due to abandonment. Despite this, he alleged that former local government chairmen whose elections were nullified have forcefully attempted to reclaim their positions, even though the APC is already participating in the upcoming local government elections scheduled for February 22, 2025. He claimed further that PDP members and council workers in various local governments, including Isoko, Borikpe, Boluwaduro, Ayedade, and Ilesa, have faced disruptions from political thugs backed by security agents. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into a news analysis segment. To kindly stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. It's now time for our news analysis segment, and actually have right here in the studio Mr. Peter Anosike, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Mr. Peter Anosike, good evening, and thank you for joining me today on the World News at 6. How are you this beautiful Monday evening?
I'm okay. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Let's start off with the drama that took place in Lagos State today. We were actually surprised. I don't know if you've seen the video where DSS officials actually gathered at the Lagos State National Assembly today. I'm sure you also heard the video where somebody was calling a particular social media profile major platform rather than having to call on any security agent. Now, according to what the DSS is saying, that it was the Lagos State Assembly themselves that invited them to come secure the premises, that they had actually heard stories that possibly there was going to be a power grab. Mudashiru Obasa, the impeached former speaker, may literally want to come back. I want to ask you a question. The last time the GAC, that's the Governor's Advisory Council in Lagos State, told us that everything was okay, things have been resolved, and that everyone is moving on, despite all the allegations against Mudashiru Obasa, financial misappropriations, and the fact that for now there is a stall from petitioning to the EFCC on as long as he's able to, calm down and just stay on his own. In several occasions, he has not been attending the meetings. Would we say that the president states this is his crown, is having what you call a political rabble-rousing turnover?
Well, for me, from 1999 till 2024, about 22 to 26 speakers have been impeached. About 22 to 26. So I don't know why Obasa should be doing this.
Okay.
He is not the first speaker that has been impeached.
But if at all he was impeached, what right does he have to come back and impose himself? On what grounds? Is it the thugs that will put him there? Is it the thugs that will install him?
So that is what I'm saying. But latest information that I had on this is that 36 lawmakers has a passed vote of confidence on the speaker.
The current one.
On the current speaker. The 36 of them have passed vote of confidence on her, that they are behind her and that she should continue in office.
Okay.
So if overwhelmingly people have rejected you, why are you still pushing? It should be on record that Aggregate Constituency 1 elected Obasa to represent them.
Okay.
He was not elected speaker.
All right.
Obasa was never elected speaker. So that he is
He was never elected speaker?
he was never elected speaker. Agege people elected him as a representative of their constituency.
Okay.
Understand me? So that he was later he later became a speaker was a privilege.
Not a right.
It's not a right.
Okay.
And those that elected him speaker, his colleagues also have that power to remove him. Understand me? They also have that power to remove him, and they have removed him. So why is he trying to say that he is more than others? I said that more than 25 speakers have been impeached from different state houses of assembly from 1999 up to 2025, and they became ordinary members, which is the number one thing that they were elected by their constituencies. So the whole thing is that Obasa is being power drunk.
Power drunk.
He is being power drunk.
Will it surprise you to note that the office of the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly has denied claims that the Assembly invited the Department of State Services to take over its premises? In fact, you know that there was tension in the chamber today. Well, as the DSS officials dressed in black jackets, they covered their faces with helmets and they were armed with weapons. They engaged in a heated struggle with workers. It's all over social media at the chamber's entrance, and they disrupted proceedings. Now, after that, apparently, an aide to the speaker explained that the letter sent by the assembly was misunderstood, stressing that the DSS deviated from its original intent. According to the aide, the letter to the DSS was a routine request for increased security following information that the removed speaker, Mudashiri Obasa, might attempt to resume on February 18, 2025, posing a security threat. The aide noted that the letter requested additional security personnel not to seal off the offices or the chambers. So would we say that there was a misrepresentation?
No. They were deliberate on what they did.
They were deliberate?
They were deliberate on what they did.
Why is Mojishola coming to tell us something different by telling us that the DSS misinterpreted the letter they sent to them?
So I cannot invite you to come and maintain security, and you now come and seal my office.
Why will Obasa wanting to resume hearing today be something of concern that they had to write a letter to the DSS to beef up security in the Lagos State House of Assembly?
Well, there's need for decorum. Understand me?
So you think his resuming would cause chaos?
Certainly, because he has been impeached. He has gone to court. He should wait for court to determine the case.
So you're saying that
not putting law into his own hands, because that's what he wants to do.
What I want to understand is this: the fact that he's impeached, does it stop him from being a lawmaker, like a normal lawmaker?
That's why I said. That's why I said that. That's what he was. Agege constituency what elected him as a lawmaker.
Okay.
And never as a speaker.
Okay.
So that he's a speaker is a privilege.
All right.
Understand me? That he is a speaker is a privilege. So when you are impeached, you go back and become an ordinary member.
All right.
And start doing what you elected to do.
So now the House resumed their normal hearing. If they got information or intel that he was going to resume today at the House, which obviously is his right as a lawmaker now, being that he's impeached, but why would that call for beefed up security?
He's coming to be an ordinary member.
That's what I'm trying to say. They got information that he's coming. Ever since the impeachment, Obasa has not come for any hearing at the Lagos State House of Assembly. So if they got intel that he is resuming today, he is resuming as an ordinary member, right? Why are you writing to the DSS to beef up security, sealing up offices, and preventing members from having access into the compound?
Because his thugs has been messing around that area. Mind you, there have been 2 protests in Anausa by his thugs. Understand me? So they should be prepared. Understand me? In case of anything. So writing for a beefed up security is not wrong.
Well, does that warrant the DSS officials preventing some members from gaining access into the National Assembly ground? We saw it was obvious that a lot of them were not aware of this. Somebody was shouting an Instagram profile or calling calling a social media profile or something. They were not calling on any other security agent. They were not calling on the police because it was obvious that at that point in time they didn't know what was going on. So in that particular regard, how does that speak?
They want the world to hear and to see what is going on there. Understand me? They want the world to hear what is going on there. The case is in court. The case has not been determined. So sending up the speakers and deputy speakers office is wrong.
Okay.
Very, very wrong. So if the DSS said that they did not know what they do, it is not true. They know the offices that they sealed. But the most important thing is that 36 of the lawmakers has passed vote of confidence on him. And the bringing Obasa back would do more harm than good.
Okay.
Bringing him back would do more harm than good. It just means that the overwhelming majority that impeach him did not know what they do. Understand me? It means that they lack the capacity to take decisions on their own. Mind you, if the 3 tiers of government are working, executive is not supposed to interfere in the business of the house.
Okay.
But what we are seeing here is intervention.
Or interference from the executive?
Both interference and the intervention. Understand me? Because without it, there's no way he should have been making all this noise, going that to court. You were overwhelmingly impeached. You should have gone back and become an ordinary member.
But is it wrong? Because he said the process was not constitutional based on how the laws operate. It was done in absentia. He said others that were impeached, they were not absent. Why was his different? That's what he said. So is it wrong for him to approach the court and say, please let things be done right? He actually stated it himself when he organized a press conference as to the fact that he's not fighting anything. He's only asking for things to be done fairly and squarely. Justice in regards to the fact that he ought to be present and not absent. So if he had approached the court and asked the court and said, see, I need this to be done properly, what is the problem there?
Excuse me, Esther. This thing that we are talking, is it because of it is this state? This issue we are going back and forth. Or Basa should be answering to EFCC as we speak. Understand me? He should be telling them guilty or not guilty as we speak.
Do we think now that this has happened, or there are speculations that maybe he's
Lagos
planning something?
State, whatever,
we're going to see that happen.
Whatever they call themselves, either GAC, Ondo or whatever, and this is a very bad precedent.
How do you think this spells as particularly the stronghold specifically for the president? Are we seeing internal wrangling and a fracture within the strong supposed political party, specifically its supposed headquarters in Lagos?
Or the message is this, that Tinubu should not be in Abuja and also be here. That's the message.
Okay.
You are now in Abuja, and now us to run our own thing here.
All right.
And understand me? That is the message which they don't, those in the presidency don't want to hear. Understand me? They prefer to be the sun that all the planets must revolve around. Okay. Understand me? Before you do anything, you go there and you take a permission. Understand
Which is actually what happened.
Before you do anything, you go there, you take permission. But what I'm saying is, this man has cases with EFCC.
All right.
By now, he should be answering to EFCC and not fighting that to come back to the House. A speaker.
Okay.
They are setting a very bad precedent. Tomorrow, they should not impeach any speaker, and EFCC will say that they are moving against him. A precedent has been set, and they should abide by it.
All right.
That's my take.
All right, thank you very much. Let's briefly take a listen to this, Governor Adeleke, and then my next questions will proceed.
is nephew of Mr. President. I choose to allow the nation before my people are killed or maimed by a minister dropping the name of Mr. President in connivance with the Osun State security operatives obeying unlawful orders. The bone of contention is the brazen effrontery to return to office council chairman sacked by a substitute court judgment using a different court decision, which has no consequential order.
What do you think about the situation in Osun State right about now? Because as it stands, 2 persons have been shot dead. The fracas that evolved. In fact, it is quite disappointing because they have called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene before things escalate to a point where there is anarchy. Now, the sacked chairman of Irewole local government in Osun State, he has been shot dead by unknown gunmen at the local government secretariat in Ikire. Now, they said the attackers stormed the secretariat in broad daylight today, firing multiple gunshots in broad daylight. It tells you that there is no fear, that kind of brazenness. Now, the Osun State Police Command confirmed the incident and stated that investigations had begun after somebody has died. Now, this is Governor Adeleke complaining about what is going on. Do you think this is one of the situations that had devolved to this menace in Osun State?
Well, today is Monday. I know that last week, Governor Adeleke raised an alarm that Oyetonda want to create mayhem, want to cause mayhem in the state, that the IGP should intervene. Understand me? That the IGP should intervene.
All right.
And for now, Oyetonda is a minister in Abuja. He should focus in Abuja. He was beaten in an election. Understand me? His people rejected him. And you were compensated with a ministerial appointment. Focus on it. Osun State local government election in a few days' time. If you want to become a chairman, go and contest. Understand me?
Right.
Go and contest. Don't use a kangaroo judgment to come and put yourself in office to evade the election, because you know that you are not popular, you are not going to win.
All right.
So that is what is happening at this point in time.
But the fact that the governor came out to organize a press conference, almost stating the fact that a particular individual seems to be the one taking laws into his hands.
He called Oyetonda's name.
Exactly. And that person intends to cause mayhem in his state. Is he not the chief security officer of the state?
No.
Is it not within his rights to enact whatever he needs to enact if he knows, due to whatever intelligence gathered, that a certain individual, whether the person is going through anybody's, principles or audacity or authority, that your first priority as a chief security officer is to protect your people if an individual is going to constitute chaos and anarchy in your state?
No. That issue of governors being chief security officer is a scam, a very big scam. They are nothing, because the commissioner of police in Osun doesn't take orders from the governor. He takes orders from the IG. It is IG that tells him what to do. Understand me?
So in this case, as it stands, is it that the Oyetola is taking orders from the IG for whatever it is that is going on in the state?
I say the commissioner of police in Osun does not take order from the governor. He takes orders from the Inspector General of Police. So if the commissioner of police in your state is not taking orders from you, then how are you the chief security officer? So that's why I say it is a scam. Understand me? It is a very big scam. Oyetonda is in Abuja. Understand me? And the IG was appointed by the president, under which Oyetonda is a governor, is a minister. So that shows you where the body language of the IGP is. So you will naturally expect bias in this kind of a thing. So, for me, Egbotoku is from Osun State. It is his people that are being killed. It is his state that is being destroyed. If he wants to use because of partisan politics, or understand me, then it is left for him. As far as I'm concerned, he should try and quell this war. This understand me, before we now begin to ask who is right and who is wrong.
It's quite unfortunate that you would have thought that most of this mayhem, political tussle, upheaval, which is eventually getting to the streets now, because that's what it is. This politics is getting to the streets, and it's innocent. Let me not use the word innocent. Well, it's the casualties are basically the civilians. And as it stands with what Adeleke has actually called out, or how he has called out what he called out, if things are not handled as soon as possible, more of these clashes will occur, and there may be several other casualties. The Inspector General of Police, would he be held responsible if there is any chaos in that state?
Well, the governor has done what he's supposed to do to raise an alarm. Mind you, the security is not in his hand. It is in the hand of the federal government. The governor does not control police, does not control army, does not control the DSS.
All right.
That's why I say that being chief security officer is a scam.
Okay, now let's head on to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. There have been several talks as to why Musa was denied visa. The latest one is from Professor Chidi Odinkalu. He said, how can 70 high-ranking top brass military officials want to attend the Invictus Games when there is high rate of insecurity, Lakurawa and Boko Haram ravaging most states in the country, specifically in the north? What exactly are they going to do at the Invictus Game that you have more than 70 top military personnel? Now, this is possibly why the Canadian embassy denied the Chief of Defense Staff a visa, because others were given and they had gone. Possibly the embassy felt that those who had gone are enough. Why will the Chief of Defense Staff and more want to attend the Invictus Games, which literally the kind of games that will be performed there, to be honest with you, is not even akin to our topography in this part of the world? So would you rely on what Chidi Odinkalu is saying as to the major reason as to why his visa was denied?
Well, for me, everything is still in the realm of speculation, because Canadian embassy has not come out to say.
They said they wouldn't for security reasons.
They say they have not come out that to say why they did that. What I mean, so the issue here is when you are traveling outside of the country, there's always the extra code to be paid. Understand? So this is one of the reasons why this thing happened. Everybody wants that to go to benefit from the extra code. Understand? Then others also go there to look for businesses. And not really that they are going there to watch games. Which game?
What other businesses? Businesses outside? If
outside what they are doing. Outside what they are doing. Some will even go there to open accounts. So it's an opportunity to do a lot of things. And I'm sure that Tinubu has cut down on the number of people that will be going out, understand me, in each of the assignments. Then if 70 senior military personnel will leave Nigeria in one swoop, how many will stay back
and be in charge of the operations in terms of carrying out the insurgents?
So for me, I don't think if what Chidi Odinkalu said is the main thing, understand?
Okay.
Because if they had wanted a few people, even if they had wanted just 2 people, the CDS would have been number 1, because he is the highest ranking officer.
Okay, what if he was the one who did not go on a certain day, either due to 1 or 2 engagements, and then at the time it was his turn, the visa was denied? If there's no other security issue, they will have said, no, maybe 30 people are already in Toronto, and let the CDS go. All right.
because he's the person that the invitation was extended to.
All right.
Understand me?
Okay. So let's look at all this power grab dynamics, especially in our polity, and also looking at security. For example, going back to Adeleke, is it possible that that is the new eye of the APC? They intend to retain the state or have an advantage in the state. Maybe this is a way of creating upheaval or chaos in the state to put a dent on Governor Adeleke, whereby the APC has an opportunity to capture the state. Do you think this is a political gimmick at play here?
Oyetona did one term.
Okay.
He had not completed
his second term.
His second term, and now I'm sure that he should be the highest ranking officer, APC officer in Osun State, and may still have his eye on going back there. Understand me? And the only way that to go back there to him is by creating confusion. The marketing, the governor, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But I know that even if Oyetona and Adeleke contest Osun State for 20 times, Adeleke will beat Oyetona 20 times.
You're very certain.
Very, very certain.
But when they begin to create mayhem, chaos, disorderliness in the state, what do you think the people will do? I'm just talking oppositions do this as a strategy. So that in the next upcoming elections, then obviously the people would align.
When they create fear, not undying, when they create fear, anarchy, there could be possibility of apathy.
Okay, yes.
People not coming out. And when there's apathy, those with machineries, I mean that will always win. Because it's to their own advantage. Understand me? The fewer the voters, the easier to rig an election.
Do you see that's what may happen in 2027? Do you consider that there will be high voter apathy?
It is only through confusion that APC can win election anywhere in the country.
Why would you say that, Mr. Peter Anosike? INEC recently called on the National Assembly to infuse punitive measures on politicians who go to the polling units with bulk of cash to induce voters on their part. He's actually, that was Mahmoud Yakubu, actually is calling on the National Assembly to do something in terms of passing a law that will be stringent on those politicians who would actually bring in cash at the polling unit on any election day. They said it has become quite worrisome. So if INEC is coming up with this measure, although one expected that they would have come with this measure a long time ago, or with this proposal a long time ago, doesn't that tell you that it's really so bad? When you talk about the fact that only through confusion that the APC would win election, INEC obviously would evidently, the owner or the head of INEC would definitely be nominated by the president. So what confusion are we talking about here?
Esther,
sir,
Satan do preach sermon. Satan do preach sermon.
Oh God.
That's my answer to that.
Satan does preach sermon.
Yes.
So in other words, INEC is Satan preaching a sermon, but no, in reality they do not mean it.
Sure.
Mr. Peter Anosike, let's believe that INEC is actually being sincere to ensure that there's a sanitization in the polity ahead of 2027.
It cannot benefit them.
It cannot benefit INEC.
It cannot benefit INEC.
You're very certain about
very,
that?
very certain.
Why would you say that?
Free and fair election will not benefit INEC because they will not serve the purpose of their master.
What is the purpose of their master?
To win. And their master cannot win under free, fair election.
So what you're interpreting is the fact that if there is no free, fair election, they get their money. And then if there is free, fair election, they don't get their money. Is that what you're actually stipulating here?
The only way they can win an election is by creating confusion.
Mahmoud Yakub said he never collected money from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as speculated in 2023. All of that is just basically the noise and statement of mischief makers. So if that person said that in that breath, how are you making this statement now?
So you believe him?
I'm telling you what he said. That's basically what
he said. Do you believe him?
Oh, my job is to actually ask the questions. I'm not supposed to air my belief.
I don't, and I will never believe him.
Okay, fine. Let's look at the Chief of Air Staff ordering an investigation into a report of civilian bombings by the Nigerian Air Force airstrike in Katsina. This particular airstrike, when it happened, the first thing the Nigerian Air Force did was to deny. they immediately denied that there was any casualty involved without having to tell us first that they intend to investigate. Now they have taken their time. They have gotten witness reports to actually indicate that there were casualties. Now they are asking for an investigation. In fact, he said what they have found out is deeply troubling and there's going to be an official investigation into this. Don't you think it's coming a bit too late?
No. For me, when something happens, you don't rush to issue a statement.
Okay.
You don't rush to issue a statement. When you rush to issue a statement, it means that you want to cover up. Understand me? Because when a thief is caught, the first thing he will say is, "It's not me." Understand me? That will always be that the first thing is not me. So you don't rush to issue a statement. You have to cool down and know the details of what happened before
Mr.
going out. Otherwise, you'll be walking back on your words.
It's not the first time they're walking back on their words. The one that happened in
but
Kaduna,
it doesn't show.
that had collateral
It doesn't
damage.
show professionalism.
It's a consistent attitude,
Understand
and they've always
me.
gone away with it.
It
So my
doesn't show-
question
it
is,
doesn't
why
show
is it that when
professionalism.
there is a mishap in the conduct of your operation, rather than having to investigate first or tell the people or the populace in your report that you intend to investigate, you quickly deny it? You immediately distance yourself from the situation. At the end of the day, you now come back to admit it. This is not the first time. If obviously there are casualties whenever this kind of operations are taken, but you come out and tell us that your operation is precise based on intelligence that indicated, and that you were precise in executing your operation, despite glaring evidence that something went awry. So if that was the case, now that they are calling for an investigation, is it a means through which they want to shift the responsibility from having to sort out or settle the families of those who lost their lives in that casualty?
So the issue, why do you first of all deny responsibility and now still calling for investigation? What else are you investigating when you have said you are not responsible? So for me, these people did not pass through the school of common sense.
Well, Mr. Peter Anosike, who are these people that you're derogating like this? Please.
I'm not derogating.
Okay.
This is a common thing. You cannot say I'm not responsible. Then let us say I will investigate. What are you investigating? That's what I say. They did not pass through that school of common sense.
All right.
You should first of all do your investigations before accepting or denying responsibility. That's common
after
sense.
putting up that notice there, they have now come out to say, as a professional force dedicated to the protection of Nigeria and its people, the Nigerian Air Force operates under strict rules of engagement and adheres to internationally accepted standards in all its operations. That's what the NAF spokesperson
but
said
what
in
they
their
discovered
statement.
is disturbing. What is disturbing? That's the question. What is disturbing? For me, there should be a precision in their targeting.
They said earlier that their targeting was precise.
Then why are
While they were refuting the claims that there were casualties involved in that airstrike.
Then why are innocent people being killed? This happens at least in every 2-3 months.
Yes.
It has been happening. Okay. And for me, I would say let them stop their airstrike.
Okay.
And that's boots being on the ground is better than this their airstrike.
But they never really got things effectively done, because sometimes it's either these bandits or terrorists are tipped off about, some certain troops coming onto that region or to that axis. Most times the bandits or the terrorists have put mines on the ground, whereby if these military men come around that area, they do not know. You saw the last time that they were invaded, basically in their barrack where they all were residing. So ground operations most times are quite risky. Maybe from the air they are able to locate things appropriately. But unfortunately, they record more casualties when they organize air operations.
That's what I'm saying. So let them start using men on the
Is it possible
ground.
that their intelligence gathering is faulty, or whoever is giving them the intelligence indicator that there is something faulty in that information? That whoever gave them that information did not tell them that there is a heavy presence of civilians there. So if they carry out the operation, you will have more civilians to pay the consequences of the airstrike.
No, for me, these people are always on the move.
Okay.
Understand? The Air Force may get that intelligence that they are at point A.
Okay.
Before they will come, they have gone to point B. Then innocent people who did not know what is going on may come to that point A.
Okay.
And these guys will still think that it is still that same people.
Interesting.
Understand me? But the issue is accepting responsibility is very, very important. Accept and explain why that thing, why or the mistake was made.
Okay.
And now try and pay compensation.
Well, don't you think it's that compensation they don't want to be part of?
Understand me?
Do you think
is it their money?
Compensation that they don't want to be part
Is it their money?
Well, most instances when they come out to deny and distance themselves,
their
obviously they do not want to pay
money?
compensation. All right, Mr. Peter Onosike, thank you so much for having to be here to give us your own incisive analysis on some of the questions posed at you. I sincerely do appreciate your input.
Yeah. Thank you for
very
having
much.
me.
And now to wrap up the world news at 6 here again are the top stories. DSS seals Lagos Assembly, Speaker, Deputies' offices. DSS reveals reasons for invading Lagos Assembly. Chief of Air Staff orders investigation into report of civilian bombings by Nigerian Air Force airstrike in Katsina. Osun National Assembly caucus urges Tinubu to direct NSA IGP to re-establish order amid political tensions. That's a wrap on the world news at 6. My name is Esther Mwachuku. Good evening and thank you for listening.